morning, peoples, and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hand Squiddy, Disembodied Beard John, and you guys! Happy Friday, everyone. I'm so happy it's Friday. I'm actually kind of psyched. Ah, where's my thing? There it is. Yay! There we are. Hi, Quindy. Yay! Alright, I think I kind of want to start on Batty today. I was thinking about it, I was like, we could do some bat. We could get some bat in. I'm going to take another look at my photo reference of him. Also, let me get that over. Okay. I met a cozy fantasy writer through my coaching program, the Write Better Faster and stuff, the Becca Syme stuff. My coach, that Patreon. So I grabbed her book this morning because it's new out today, I think. And I think it's today, not yesterday. And it's a cozy fantasy. It's got at least a cat in it. So I'm going to read it. And if I like it, I'll let you guys know about it. Because she's like me when this is her first book. And she's planning at least 3, I think. But she could really use reviews. And she's a really nice lady. I really enjoyed talking to her during coaching. So, yeah, if I like it, I'll let you guys know. And if you like it, then you can maybe think about leaving her a review and help her out. This is the great thing when you meet an author you like, right? So, yeah, let me find Bat. Where are you, Bat? Bat! Bat! There you are. There it is. There it is. There's our Bat. Hi, Bat. I'm so cute, he says. So you're Kiki. He's Kiki levels of cute. That's what he is. He's actually Kiki colored if I look at her. Yeah, his eyeball color, his spectacle color is your leg color, Papa. And your reddish color around your neck is a reddish color around his neck. Yeah, you're the same color as our Bat. Hi. She's lying down next to me. She's being my photo reference today. Hi, good girl. Yeah, did you bring your squeaky ball so that you can, get the stream all silly later? Yeah, good girl. I'm not gonna, I should close my window, though. It's gonna get hot today. 1 second. 1 second. Bat and Bat for your viewing pleasure while I close my window. It's not supposed to be as nasty as it has been. It's only supposed to get to 90 something today. Let's see. 88. Well, that's livable. We're supposed to be past the heat wave. It's supposed to hit 92 over the weekend, but it's supposed to be no more 100-degree days. The model is the promo model for the Ghoulie bag this year, AMOLED. So Reaper does a Ghoulie bag if you purchase $50 or more off our website during the month of October, while supplies last. You get a Ghoulie bag with free paint, usually special paint, at least a couple of special colors that are unique. And you get a miniature and you get candy. So the miniature is this one. It's a little Batling on top of a jack-o'-lantern with mushrooms and a toad. Don't forget the toad. And it's sculpted by Jason Wiebe, and it's adorable. I have a bigger version than the one that's in the Ghoulie bag. The Ghoulie bag's probably about 2/3 this size. If anybody, by the way, if anybody has one, do any of you have these? Have a Batling in hand? Because if you are, I'd really like you to measure it for me. There we go. There's the info on the Ghoulie bag. But still, yeah, pretty cold, Shadow Raven. Hey there, Blades. How's it going? I like your dancing skeletons. They rock. So anyway, I just want to, when I give people information about how the one in the Ghoulie bag is smaller, I'd really like to know, the exact size of it compared to this. So, does anybody in chat have one? Because this one, from the base of the base to the top of the ears, is pretty big. It's just short of 70 millimeters. So the Batling himself is to the top of his head, he's about 30 millimeters. A little bit less, maybe. Oh, they only started shipping 3 days ago. Okay. Well, once you guys have them, let me know, right? If one of you gets one. You don't have to, even if you can just measure it in inches if you don't have a millimeter ruler, that would help. So in inches, this guy is about 2.5 inches from the bottom of his base to the tips of his ears. So yeah, it would be really good to be able to tell people how big the produced... Cool. That'd be great, Val. Produced version is. All right, so I want to look at this brown. It looks like walnut or blackened brown. It's a very cold, cold dark brown. I think it's actually black and brown. Like, I think black and brown is more red than it looked there, and I think that black and brown plus some white is going to give us kind of some of these colors. So I think I'm going to do that and use walnut for the very, very dark shadows on him. And then we'll have to figure out what color that ruff is. It kind of looks like I'm going to need to do a transition phase with it being a little more red there. I'll probably use ruddy leather, and then I'll probably use rich leather. We'll work it up that way. I really like the ruddy to rich leather combo. The other really good one is, now that it's in production again, is instead of rich leather, actually, let's do that. Now that chestnut gold is a thing again, let's use it. I've had it sitting here in my box ever since it was canceled, from before since it was canceled. And I really feel like this color is the best one to highlight up. If you want to go golden from reddish, I feel like ruddy leather to chestnut gold, that's your transition. Do a 50-50 mix and just go from that to that. So if we look at this as a triad, it does work, even though this is a very different color from this. But these two actually work quite well. So we will work with this for our Batling. And then for his creamy eye colors, he's definitely got a creamier mask. I feel like doing like a creamy ivory would maybe be the way to go. He's so cute. I can't get over how cute this Batling is. So freaking cute. All right. So let's try that. Let's just go that way. And I'm going to just paint his face dark first, and then we'll come around to it. Yes, chestnut gold got uncanceled. Buy lots of it. It's so useful, guys. For like golden colored leather, it's a good base. For shading colors on lions, leopards, blonde hair, using this as a base for blonde hair, or using it as shadows for blonde hair. Any of those like applications. Plus, like I said, when I do reddish brown or brown hair, this is my highlight. So, get it. Pick it up. I don't know if the color's still the same, but if you search chestnut gold, it should come up. Yeah, it got canceled, and that was the one color that we were all up in arms about because it's so freaking useful. But apparently nobody bought it, so let's all go out and buy it and keep it in print. Thank you. This has been a message from your and Paint Preservation Society. So we will use it on the Batling as a sign of like thumbs up to Reaper for bringing it uncanceled. Alright, I need my black and brown to get unclogged, so let's reach for one of many pokey tools. I don't know what it is, but I got all fired up this morning. I did manage to do CrossFit without hurting my knee more last night. But I'm kind of thinking about buying a reverse treadmill. Because it's supposed to be really good for knee rehab. And in fact, our gym owner is currently using it for just that. So he bought one to put in the CrossFit gym. And I've been using it. But yeah, my hope is that now over this long weekend, doing my exercises consistently and really, really scaling CrossFit next week, I will finally be able to like see real improvement in my knee. That's fingers crossed, folks. Because it's getting old. It's getting old to have a bum knee. Especially because I have ambitions. I have running I want to do. So let's get back out. I'll show you guys the colors here. Boop. Hey there, Russian. How's it going? Yes. Yeah, we're going to do pretty much paint this Batling until it's done. I'm going to do a 50-50 mix here of the chestnut gold. Or maybe just maybe just actually a 3-to-1, since I know the ruddy leather is gonna really hit the chestnut gold pretty hard. So let's just do a 1-to-3. boop. Whenever you're dealing with yellows, even if they're like brownish yellows or golden yellows or whatever, and you're going to add anything with red in there, even if it's a brownish red, you know it's going to overwhelm that yellow. So back off on how much you add. So yeah, but my knee felt good yesterday, and it felt good today so far. So tonight I'm going to go out and take a normal walk at normal pace and get a benchmark for where I am. Because I know what pace I would like to walk my 5K at, and it's in November. Like, it's like in 6 weeks, so I have to get on it now. Like, and I realize that if I don't make myself a training program, like if I don't, like, kind of just sit down and write out what I should do every day to get from point A to point B, I'm just not going to, I'm going to be really haphazard about it. And so today is the day, tonight I'll sit down and write that out. Sometimes that's the way that it happens with stuff, and I mean, painting is no different. Sometimes you have to like just write out a list, especially when you're in the later parts of a model and maybe you're feeling some resistance to finishing it because you're bored with it, or because, you know, just because resistance tends to hit us when we're close to the end. The one thing you can do that's very easy is to sit down and just write out a short list of each thing you need to do. Like highlight fur, paint eyes, you know, touch up pumpkin, whatever, right? And if you just make that really short list, then you can just move down and do one thing a night or one thing whenever your painting time is, and it'll help you get through that phase. So that's good, but I think I do want another ruddy leather. Not everybody is a list maker. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Sometimes it's better for you to just make it into a habit that you don't have to think about when you are looking to get through a project. You just sit down, you do your thing on that, and then you can work on whatever. You can also use the reward system, which you have to enforce on yourself, right? That's the thing. And the best way to do that, if you feel like you have no willpower, is to just stop and really feel yourself in the moment. Just like sit down, think about, well, gosh, normally I have no willpower, but if I think about this right now, I can do it, right? And the thing that makes us mostly think we have no willpower is that our brain just skates over a task because it either doesn't want to do it, or, you know, you're distracted because you normally sit down and watch TV in the evening, or, you know, you're trying to fight against a different habit, you know, or you're afraid. You're afraid that if you sit down, you won't, you know, you'll paint and you won't enjoy it as much as you think you will, or it's not going to go as well, or maybe it'll go terribly, you know, maybe you suck, you know, all that kind of crap, like, builds up in our subconscious. So sometimes you just need to sit down and do the action, and to get to that point where you can do that, it helps to be conscious of it, to stop and, like, when it's time to really stop yourself, stand in place for a second and intentionally go, I'm going to go and sit down at my painting table, you know, and I'm going to paint just for 10 minutes, right? I'm just going to be there. I'm just going to sit with it. And if you do that enough nights in a row, it will become habit, and then you won't have to expend the willpower. That's the great thing about habits. Habits are for people who don't do well with lists, in my opinion. This is where you choose to spend your lunch. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, congrats on the fiance there, Sam. But yeah, Bonsylvania, make it a cute one, and one with big details. Like, that's one thing that I tell people to do when they're new, even though they like to grab the model that has, we're going to start with just some black and brown here, guys. For the really dark shadows under the chin here, you can see it. But when somebody's painting a model, paint one with big details, and make sure that she likes it. She needs to find one that, like, you figure out the ones with big details, and then give her a choice of those. And probably for a first model, I would just concentrate at first on base coat. Just do a neat base coat. And remember, if you want to introduce her to washing, to doing a wash, that you want that base coat to be a little lighter. So that it'll look good once it gets a wash on it. Yeah, that kind of thing in R really works. Right. Yeah. Well, in the 5 minutes, every 5 minutes thing, that's where, having the wet palette or the well palette with a sponge on it. But you can get something done in 5 minutes. The frustration is that if you have a brain that likes to focus and get in the zone, having that every 5 minutes interruption. Do you have small kids, Val? Is that the thing? What? It could be anything, right? It could be anything. It could be a pet that's sick. It could be, that you're a caregiver. It could be that you have kids. It could be just that your job is really demanding every 5 minutes. I'm going to put dark lines around the eyes. Let me just look at my picture again. So yeah, he's got really dark pigment around his little eyeballs, and then his eyes are dark as well, but you've got that line of pigment around the eyes. So let's do that. Yeah, Rockies can be good, but Rockies can also be boring. I'm not a big fan of the Rockies. I think the Pennsylvanians are fun. Rocky is cute, but I honestly don't have that much fun painting those because it's dragons, right? It's so much scales, and you only get to use like 1 or 2 colors, right? So it depends, really. If she's into cute dragons, then Rocky's a good choice. If she's someone who's going to want to use... And there's nothing that says you can't use a lot of different colors on Rocky, I suppose. Right. But I mean, you can get a lot done. The only thing is, like I was saying, if you have a brain that loves to focus and get in the zone, and that's when you get your best work done, then having those interruptions, maybe, honestly, you just try to find, like, one time where maybe you have your significant other or your partner or somebody, like, take care of the thing that usually distracts you, or you pick a time where that distraction is not present. Like, maybe your kid goes down for a nap, and that is your paint time. Maybe even your old animal also goes down for a nap at a certain time and usually sleeps. Search out that time, make it your paint time, and guard it with your life. If you are a person who needs to be able to focus to get anything done. I am a focus person, but I'm also a heavy list maker who understands at this point in my life, who understands that I can get a lot done in 10 minutes. So it really depends on... Turn off the phone. Like, again, you can, with those things, close the door on the cats or figure out when they're usually napping. Turn off the phone for half an hour or an hour. It won't kill your family. And, if your fiance isn't going to clean, you can just clean when you're done with your painting. It doesn't need to be done right then. So I'm going to do some dark around there. And, and this is, by the way, this is also advice that writers give. If you have family or friends that always want to contact you because you are the person that helps resolve their disputes or for them to talk to when they have a problem, define one time of the day where you will not be available and just tell them, hey guys, I've got to work or whatever. I don't care if you have to lie. I've got to do some stuff for me and I will not be available during this time. And if you call, I'm going to have my phone turned off. And if you knock, I'm not going to come to the door because I have to get these things done. They're important to me. Like, just do it. Have that gutsiness. Because if you don't protect your time, if you don't protect time for your creativity, nobody else is going to do it for you. You just never get to do it. Yeah, animal familiars are just tiny is the problem for me for a first project. I don't feel like it sets you up for success very well. Yes, it's tiny and it can be easy because it's very small. And you don't, anything you do looks good because you don't need to worry about blending or anything. So that I could see that. Let me see what the muzzle does here. Okay, so he has a dark strip down the top of his muzzle, just like Kiri used to. This is the Kiri bat. I love it. So, and it kind of comes down around at a peak on the head. Okay, I might put a little bit more reddish color in here too. Just because you've got a photo reference doesn't mean you need to stick to it. You can absolutely mess with it, and like I can add some red up here on the top of the head, which I'd really like to do actually. And then I can, and you can still say, you know, hey, this was inspired by a spectacled bat. Spectacled flying fox. But you know, you're departing from it, and that's cool. But yeah, other people, especially if you are that type of person, because a lot of us are peacemakers, or we're like the person that our friends call to talk out stuff. If they're heavy communicators and they need to talk stuff out in order to like get motivated or see their way through, they'll call. Or maybe they're just bored and taking advantage of our time. You know, people are not always altruistic about this, right? And they're often not even conscious that that's what they're doing. But yeah, the answer is honestly to just say, hey guys, this time on this day, this is my time. And I won't be available for you. So if you call, my phone's going to be turned off. Just warn them. And then they can't get angry at you. You warned them. And if they do get angry at you, that's kind of a sign they're taking advantage of you. And that's a whole different subject. I'm not a therapist. But, you know. But, okay, so I can't get any, yeah, like I said, I'm not a therapist. But question why that is, Val? Because chances are some of that stuff could ride. And if it really can't ride because the person or people involved are just going to escalate on you, then really question. Like, I'm meh. I'm going to warn you. I'm someone who has actually actively pushed people out of her life if they were really kind of poisonous to me that way. So, but that's not everybody, and you could love these folks. So, just ask yourself if they would be okay with you saying, hey, you know, 2 to 2:30 or 2 to 3. I'm not available. If you say 2 to 3, it's probably better, because then if they interrupt you at 2:45, you still got 45 minutes in. But there's always something we can do, all right? There's always something. You are not helpless. You can make time somewhere, even if you have to wait till they go to bed, even if you have to get up a half hour early. Whatever one of those works for you. Some people are night owls and some people are morning birds, but like, there's got to be something. There's got to be some time that works. Often there's a time, except that we've already earmarked it for something else. And then we have to question, you know, which of these is more important to me. But just be careful, because other people will, like, you know, will take your time. And, you know, other things will take your time. But that's how you, like, get through 3 years and you're like, what happened? And sometimes it's stuff we really can't do anything about. And that's just the way it is, and you have to write off those 3 years. Like, that's just the way it is. But be conscious of it and try to find time for yourself. Because if you are going through a high-pressure situation like that, it's not good for your stress, right? It's not good for your body and your mind. And I know that self-care is not, like, a super priority in American culture. Sadly, it needs to be. And I'm bad at it sometimes, too. But, like, take care of yourself. I'm going to block in the eyes, like, totally white. Don't worry, we'll color them. But yeah, and the thing is, I think to remember is that you don't have to be mean about it, right? That's why I say let people know, right? If there are people in your life that tend to call, if they always call at 2 p.m., say, hey, on Wednesday, I can't do calls on Wednesday anymore. That's just important to me. There's things I need to do. And you don't have to, you don't owe them, you know, an explanation other than that. Because if they find out that you're just doing your hobby, then they're going to be like, get all huffy about it, maybe, if they're that kind of person. Like, your silly, miniatures are more important than me, blah, 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 whatever. Sometimes you can get sympathy. Sometimes you can go, hey, I'm really stressed out. I need to take some time during the day. I've decided that this is the day I'm going to do it, so I won't be available. I'm going to do the dark up here. Blend it in with my red a little bit. Cool, Twisted Oma. We're talking about how demands on your time can keep you from doing the fun and creative things that you need to detox. And some possible ways to handle that stuff. And then, of course, there's the thing that secretly, even though, and this is a real thing, psychologists talk about it a lot. So there's a thing where we constantly, we get interrupted by people. We everything around us is, going to crap if we're not there to fix it and all that kind of thing. And there is a creepy thing in your brain that likes that situation. Like, maybe it's just the way that your life has been since you were a kid. Maybe you love to feel needed. That's a lot of it. For me, it's I love to feel needed. Like, I went through this with myself, and I had to stop and, like, really look at it. Because when I really admitted it, it was I wouldn't delegate. I wouldn't, I wasn't willing to just let things ride for half an hour. Even though if you really look at it in the grand scheme of your life, of course you can let things ride for half an hour. That kind of thing. And in reality, I was trapping myself because I love to feel needed. I love to feel needed by other people. And so I would constantly be, like, allowing them to, like, prioritize my time. And it's very difficult to back out of that mindset. Let me just check some things. Again, I'm just kind of looking at my reference. I'm kind of looking at it for inspiration. I need to leave a rim around the outer part of the eye. I think I am going to put dark there. I do need to remember that back here I need to bring in lighter color. I'm going to back out so you guys can see what I'm doing better. Too focused. Yes, and if you're responsible or a parent or a child, yep. Yes. That's a good tip, Turgeon. Yeah, it is possible for you to prioritize certain numbers and let those come through. Right, but you don't have to quit everything. You can quit things selectively, right? Like, quitting everything, that's extreme, and yeah, you're gonna probably run into some issues. But you don't have to quit everything. Like, if the dishes are just going to pile up after dinner, like, you could let them pile up for half an hour and then go do them. David does this all the time. David's really, my husband is really good at this. He if he doesn't feel like doing the dishes or he like wants to go and do creative stuff, he'll sit down, he'll do half an hour, 45 minutes of creative stuff, and then he'll get up and he'll do the dishes. And, maybe it annoys me a little bit that the dishes are still sitting there. Maybe even annoys him, but he wants to make sure that he gets his creative stuff in before he goes and gets distracted by all that. So let's see around the face. I want to see how much light stuff I need. One sec. There we go. All right, so there's definitely a halo of lighter fur all the way around the face and down onto the chest. So we need to get that in place. I'm probably gonna white it out a bit first. Yeah, I do that as well, Inara. But you know what? It took me many, many years to get the self-knowledge and the backbone to quit people who make my life suck. People who aren't adding anything, people who only detract, toxic people. Like, it took me a long time. All right. We're gonna get a little bit... I needed more of a light color back here, and I didn't realize I did, so Now I gotta take my white and kind of underpaint it. And I want to underpaint it down here too, because I didn't realize I was going to be doing that. And I don't think I'm going to go all the way under. I want that dark shadow, but I'll at least get my lighter rough coming in a little bit. I want to be able to see it. There we go. That we can see just a little bit of it. Yeah, and I mean, some of the people I quit had been friends for many years. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to. So then it comes to managing expectations, saying, you know, I'm not available for you this time. I'll be available for you in half an hour, but I'm not available for you right now. You know, and honestly, if people can't deal with that, like then you are dealing kind of with, if it's a choice thing. But obviously, if you're a caregiver, that's a different situation. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna keep the dark band here. There isn't a lot of room to do the complete spectacles here, guys. So I think I'm gonna do more like this. But yeah, like I said, that's something a therapist could help you with more than I. I am not a therapist. The decisions I've made in my life are not necessarily ones that will work for you. Everybody's got to come to their own truth about this stuff. But there is always something you can do. And you don't have to quit everything or everyone. But you do need to define one day, 1 hour, or half an hour even, if you're really, really up on pins and needles. One time where you will be available for you. Nobody else. Your life won't fall to pieces if you're not available one time. There we go. We got some nice spectacles going on. Ah, yeah. Right, so but you don't have to always tell people to leave, right? That's kind of my point there. You gotta have a balance somewhere, right? All right, I want more white over here, so let's get that blocked in because I want to kind of see it over here, and then I gotta have to. Sometimes there's a middle ground, and sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you need to kick everything out, but kicking everything out, I would hesitate. But, you know, like I said, it's your life. You'll have to decide, like, what prices you're willing to pay to get the time you need to be creative and happy. And I mean, I usually use the will I regret this question when it comes down to it, you know? And it could be not just, like, regretting, like, well, not regret I didn't, like, wasn't there for this person, but more like a, you know, will I regret if this person drops out of my life, you know? Will I regret if I don't, like, actually find time to be creative, right? But how much creative time do you need, right? Again, it's very individual for everybody. All right, so he's kind of got sideburns almost. And some people tend to do things to extremes. And that's the way they go. Like, that's the way you are, right? Like I said, I don't know you. So a lot of this is going to be the golden color, guys. I'm just blocking it in. Got to underpaint with white at this point. There we go. So let's do, and then we'll have the cream color. Let me see what his muzzle is like on the bottom part. Okay, so he has like a little white chin. Little white chin, so cute. And he does have lighter color up the sides of his muzzle. All right, so we'll make those little poofs light as well. Poof. Poof. Yeah, it helps when you get older, right, Twisted Oma? You get that don't give a shit vibe going on. You're not so reluctant to, like, just say, you know, lump it, like it or, like it or lump it. There. That helps define his mouth, too. Now, he does have... I want to get this down a little bit here. All the way down to his teeths. Just introducing a little bit of that buff color in here. I want to leave some of the black around his teeth and his little lower lip there. I want to keep his lips black. He's got a little lip in there that you guys probably won't see it on the tiny version, but there's a little tiny... Oh, I'm not in focus. I need to be in focus. Boop. Yeah, you don't have to be relationshipless, but it helps if you do decide to get in another one to, like, just set boundaries, like, let people know. Hey, you know, I love you and all, but I'm going to be doing this. You can join me if you want, but I'm going to be doing this. That's why I married a mini painter. For the win, guys, for the win. Shared hobbies for the win. Yep. Right, you'll try to do it kindly and yep, and use colorful language. Yes, right. Yep. Yeah, I always try to be nice at first. Though sometimes, like, sometimes there's some things I just won't, like, do. Like, I will not look at somebody and tell them they're being toxic. Because that's just going to open a whole new can of toxic worms. Like, so I will just slowly, like, get that person out of my life. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a mixture of, I was going to use, maybe think of using driftwood, but I think that I'm going to use driftwood on the mushrooms. So I think with Batty, we're going to keep him a little bit warmer. And I'm going to use creamy ivory with that chestnut gold and see what I can make that do. Yeah. So I'm going to get this creamy ivory and I'm going to see what I can mix up as a shadow. Sometimes if your shadows are too saturated, it's not going to work very well. So my concern is that mixing that spectacle ground color with just the chestnut gold mixed into this isn't going to be, like, dark enough or work. So I might use the one that I mixed with the ruddy leather, which at least ruddy leather has a tiny bit of black in it. And I'll start figuring out if that's going to work for me. And that's a little pinkish. I might use a little black and brown. Yeah, to make it more of a taupe color. This is the base for the spectacles, which are really much paler and whiter. A little bit more yellow, so chestnut gold. I think that'll work right there. You want it dark enough is the thing to serve as a good base. So we'll see if that works for the spectacles. And I'll get the outer part of this done in the chestnut gold plus ruddy leather. We're just going to block it in, then we're going to do our fur. That makes more sense, yes. But yeah, always try to be kind if you can. If kindness doesn't work, then it's time to back out. But that said, some people are happier alone. Like I said, it's always you have to figure out what your life is about. It's all you. But yeah, that whole like telling people that, you know, you won't be available for them at a certain time of day, you know, certain days of the week, is setting boundaries. That is what it is, and I am bad at it. I'm much better at it now, but man, I used to suck at it so bad. Like I said, I wanted to feel needed, and that was an easy way to feel needed. But yeah, boundaries, man. Nobody likes them. People will push back. It's like with the dog people. When I was available, you know, constantly for them, then they got all snippy when I wasn't. But I had to set those boundaries. All right, I'm going to try, that's not quite dark enough for me. Like, I need a shadow for this. Like, this almost needs to be the highlight color. So I'm going to grab a bunch of stuff and throw it together. And then throw some white in it. I'm going to show you guys how I'm mixing here. So this is too light. This is more like the highlight for the spectacles. So now I need to get something that's darker. But not that dark, right? So I'm going to throw some light into it. Keep throwing white in. We're getting there. That's a little better maybe. So let's try kind of a mix of these. Let's like do kind of a wet blend of these on the spectacles, and then we can come in and see how that works. But I'm mixing my colors with all of the colors. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a misnomer on my part. You're right, Shadow Raven. It's not necessarily that people enjoy being alone, but people might enjoy not being in a relationship, and that's fair. But what I need here is I need some contrast, or when I go in to highlight this fur, it won't even show up. So I'm using this new color that I mixed. And I'm always using, when I'm mixing, I'm using the colors that exist on the model. So I'm not reaching for a color outside of what I'm using. Yeah, see, that looks better. How's it going, Aspire? Right. Humans need social groups, so like having friends and family or family, depending on your feelings on that matter. Or all the above. I'm actually really happy to have found this. I mentioned at the start of the stream, some of you weren't here, that I met a cozy fantasy writer. She's brand new. She just put out her first book today. I met her in the course of my little micro coaching that I do for my writing Patreon that I'm a part of. And I just picked up her book, and if I really like it, I'm going to tell you guys about it. Because she's like me when I was starting. Like, she desperately needs reviews. She's got one review on the book so far. Like, she did have one, but, like, I know how that feels. So if she's a really nice lady, so if I can help her out, I'm going to. But, like, I was hoping, I really wanted to make a writer friend, so I think I'm going to reach out to her. Because we're close enough to each other as far as where we're starting out. Yeah, Batling is coming along. We're starting to figure out the colors in the face and stuff. But yeah, I like cozy fantasy a lot, so one of these days I'll write one. But first, Werewolf Paladin Romance. So I actually, I used GTP last night, guys, because I was, like, trying to figure out a name. I was like, give me a name for someone with these characteristics and this character class. And usually I just, like, brainstorm it or I go reach for my naming book, but I was curious. Curious if chat would give me any good suggestions. I can see why people reach for it. It's really good at, like, word relationship stuff, where it's like, I need another word that's kind of like this, but not this. It's really good at just whipping those up really fast. There we go. We'll get these kind of in. So we're getting those colors laid in. I like that better, darker. Now we have room to highlight the spectacles. We use that same color to shade around here. Batling. And we'll put in the other spectacle. So yeah, sometimes with animals, when you're trying to do a color scheme, you're trying to get close to something that you're looking at a picture of, you just have to mess around with it a little bit more. It doesn't always come together right away. But that's all right. We've got time. So yeah, that darker color is going to be good as a good base for a creamy ivory highlights. That's what I was looking for. So there we go. Even though it looks dark on the palette, that's because the palette is white, and so you kind of have to look at it in relationship to the other colors on your palette. But this is still lighter than my other browns, and so and especially over the white undercoat, it's going to look lighter, so it works. Yeah, it's the thing is that they're not terribly creative. I hate to say this, Turgeon, but, like, they're all tuned to give you, like, the most popular stuff, right? But when you're being creative, when you're being a writer, you don't want that stuff. Like, you want something that's more like you, more unique, more, you don't want the same words that everybody else is using, right? That's the thing. That's the problem with AI as a writing tool. And it's why I never ever ask it to write anything. Like, mostly when I go over there, when I go to ChatGPT, I'm doing stuff like this. I'm kind of testing it. And in the end, I ended up not using any of its suggestions, but one of its suggestions gave me an idea that I followed up, and then I found the name I was looking for. So, because I springboard off of things really easily, sometimes it's useful like that. But more honest, to be honest, it's very trite. It's extremely trite. Be good for, like, coming up with a name for your D&D character, right? If you didn't want to be too creative. I know, Shadow Raven. I made really tasty food for myself when I lived alone before David came along after my divorce. I would just, the benefit of it then was that I love leftovers. So, like, if I cook a really good thing right now, then I can have leftovers for the next 2 nights and I won't have to cook. So for me, that worked. There we go. Got our little spectacles in. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Oh my god, so cute. He is terribly cute. We won't be able to do the little marks in the eyebrows, I think, because the sculpt is different. So that's another thing. When you're trying to follow things, you may find that either because the first sculpt is too coarse or you don't have enough room. Like I said, I couldn't really bring these down inside the eyes because there's like no room there. The muzzle's right there, and I wanted that dark stripe to separate the eyes. So maybe we can't do the little marks there. I think he still looks really cute. I still think the color scheme is like carried, right? So it's just like, what is the main? If you can't get the tiny details, you just got to pick the main parts of the color scheme and just go for those. You don't have to duplicate everything precisely to use an animal photo reference. You just have to get the gist of it. Hey there, Bob. All is pretty good. It's Friday. Friday, can't get better than that. I got some of the new book outlined yesterday. Gotta get more of it done. Hope to have my beat sheet and my outline completely knocked out by the end of this weekend. That's my hope. So then I can start writing on Monday on the new book. And oh my gosh, I gotta say, I was reading the Player's Handbook last night. I really like the new subclasses for all the classes. Like, I can see where I would make up different ones for some classes. Like, there's some that I feel like, meh, but I could maybe make something similar that's cool. But that's me always wanting to house rule D&D. But some of them I just love to death. I was interested to see they did put psionics in there, except as a part of like subclasses, not as its own separate system, which makes sense actually. So I'm not adverse. But I was always a psionics enjoyer, so. The monks and the barbarians look really cool. Yeah, Val, have fun. Oh, Splat! Wow! Long time no see. Yeah, have a good one, Val. Yeah, I haven't even gotten to that part yet. I was just reading the character classes. Yeah, just to release some cool subclasses. Yeah, that's the nice thing, right? Now that we know how they're building their subclasses, it's very easy for a GM to sit down and work out a unique subclass for their player character if the player wants one, right? You just have to kind of keep an eye on balance. But just from looking at like the various types of abilities available at various levels in the subclasses, you could probably put together something that isn't too broken. I'm going to actually grab my black and brown and bring my really dark part in more here. More contrast. And I love the art. The art for the subclasses, too, is really good. I had hoped the art would be really good for this book, and it is, and I'm just so happy about it. The one thing that I'm not sure about is bards. I always like bards in theory, but they're very much an assistance character. Like, they're all about buffing everybody else. Although they do get, I think they do get basic healing and stuff, but... And so it is a harder, I guess they do say it's a more difficult class to play. I would think that bard would be good in a bigger party. I'm not convinced as far as, like, if you're running a smaller game with, like, just 4 characters, I'm not so sure about that. So I want to bring in that dark right next to the light. And it's going to be a much more narrow band than it is on the real animal, just because we don't have a lot of room with the sculpt. Well, it's nice to see you back, Splat. Happy October. And thanks for you're welcome, or thank you for the congratulations. Yes, I'm very happy to have the new book out. Now we just need more reviews. I decided I was going to start running Facebook ads later this month, too, on book 1. I'm going to start really, really tiny, like $1 a day, and just see. Because my worry is just that advertising is easily eats into profits. All right, so then we got kind of 2 rows of like darker fur, which I like. Just going to keep kind of expanding that a little bit. Oh, yeah. It's East of the Sun, A.E. Becker. Yeah, and my author site is right there at the last one, so you can see and there is a link to buy on Amazon for all the books and everywhere else. Actually, I need to put more links up. So his nose is black, so I need to figure that out. He's cute. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Let me see here. That's about right. Okay. But yeah, so if you go to my author site, there will be links to go to Amazon for the book. And Barnes & Noble for Ace to the Sun. I have to put up all the rest of them. All the rest of the links. Yeah, they're YA fantasy. They're based roughly on Norwegian folklore. They are fun adventure stories, because I love adventure fantasy, with a folklore feel, folklore/fairy tale feel for the magic. Yes, and you can sign up for the mailing list if you like the first book, and you really like Valaman and MSET. The mailing list gets you a free downloadable novella from BookFunnel, which is pretty easy to send to your Kindle. They make it pretty simple at this point. So I'm just going to bring this in a little bit more, make those spectacles a little thinner out here. And I'm going to use a brush stroke that's the same as the fur direction, to get that kind of like feathery look. Awesome, Bob. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the first one's on sale right now, so 99 cents for the ebook. Good time to come in and hit the buy button. But if you want the physical books, I will always sign. If you come to ReaperCon, or even if you want to mail them to me, I can arrange to do that. I have a P.O. box. But yeah, it's cool to sign in person. There, so now we get kind of a spiky look in that fur around his eyes, and we'll just keep, as we highlight, we'll keep bringing that texture out. Yeah, definitely do. Yes, I'm happy to sign them, always. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, spiky little. Spiky little furs. And my black my black and brown got a little bit too far in there, so if it really looks bad or it looks like it's too broken up. Ah, stickers. That's a good idea. Yeah. Hi, Kiki. Hi. Little doglet. Big doglet. What you doing? You hanging out? It's not time yet. You have like a whole half hour yet, little bubs. A whole half hour. Yeah? Rufflebutt? Yeah. Is that a new name, Rufflebutt? Yeah. You have ruffles for sure. All right, Bubba. Go settle. Work. It's almost the weekend, Bubba. So that, I feel like, is a little bit too far. So I want that fuzzy feel. Sometimes if you go too strong into the individual hairs, you lose the fuzzy feel. And if you're painting something cute like this, maybe you don't want that. So you can go back and paint over some of it. Make it look softer. Yes, I did. It went to Ron, though. I don't have a picture of it, Bob. I had it at ReaperCon. It turned out really well. We sculpted an additional spell effect on top of the magical hanky effect. So Ed had a floating green skull that he was casting, and I liked that. Yeah, if you want, you can go to the Reaper YouTube, Bob, and just look up the last stream. Then you can see how it turned out. That's a good point. Thanks for pointing that out, Laura. I always forget that you can just go to the stream and look at the thing. Or sorry, go to the YouTube and look at the thing. All right. Too yawny. I have many things to do today. Need to edit my video for the Patreon and get that up. And I can do a little bit of wet blending in here between the ruddy and the chestnut gold, just to blend it in there. Now I'll probably highlight down into this area with the golden fur just to bring it out more. I need to bring out that halo kind of effect he's got, if I want to. Don't have to. Let's get the back of the model. Actually, right here, I think I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. Because I've got a big area, and it's all got to be that lighter fur. I painted a lot of metal over the years, Bob. I really like the Bones USA because it reminds me of resin, which is my favorite material to paint. I'm not so much into metal these days because the rub off is just a little bit more, and it's a little harder to like pin and clean mold lines and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if I was playing, I mean, the weight of metal is nice because the mini, it doesn't get knocked over as easily on the tabletop. So that's a thing, But on the other hand, the Bones USA, the paint sticks a little bit better, so I find. So I have fewer fewer touch-ups on a gaming model if I use a lighter model. But yeah, everybody's individual about that. So using my big number 2 Winsor Newton Series 7, using this mixture of chestnut gold and ruddy leather. And I could probably start working in the darker colors here. Because again, I don't have a picture of the back of the bat, and I don't need to follow the photo reference exactly. I just need to get the feel of it. So but using a big brush helps us to just cover the area. Yeah, putting pennies. Yep. I used to do that. Yeah, I think there's still a place for metal, but I feel like it gets problematic with the price now because the metal miniatures are more expensive because tin is so expensive. And that's probably not going to change, which is why you see so many companies going toward plastic. I'm hoping to get some painting in this weekend. I was really, I was making time for the painting right after we got back from ReaperCon, but then we had that road trip, and the next thing I knew, this is great. It's kind of fox colored. I really like this effect. I'm gonna make the tips of his ears dark. I don't like Bones Black. It's just a little clunky. It's really hard to clean mold lines on the Bones Black. And I don't like the level of detail nearly as much. The Bones USA is really my jive. The Cyocast rocks. And the 3D prints are also great. Because they're very comparable. The resin that they're using with Reaper is a little bit flexible. Feels a lot like the Bones USA. I have trouble telling them apart. If I can't see a support, I have real trouble telling them apart. So we're doing a dark edge there. Yeah, it is pretty easy to remove mold lines, especially with my little like hand Dremel, mini Dremel thing. Yeah, I think we'll make the skin dark, so we'll keep that black and brown there. But yeah, these days, this is a 3D print that I'm painting right now. And then I probably do a mix, I'd say, guys, right? Of 3D print and Bones USA. Depends on the... I just get the sculpts I like and whichever one it is. Yeah, nice to have heft, yeah. Yeah, the resin is really good, I agree. Resins are getting better and better. Like to have that little less fragility. Although I will say that my favorite resin was really fragile, is really fragile, but I really love the way that detail looks, and that's the one that Moonlight used to use, the orangey one. I actually asked Christine which one that was, because they've changed. But to something a little more durable, because they just had too much breakage. Which I respect, because if you're doing a company, right? We'll get this light fur all the way up to the edge here. That'll let us get that halo of light fur a little bit more in the front. Yeah, the one that looks like terracotta. Yep. Yeah, it's really fragile, Twisted Oma, but I love it. So much so that Kyle knows it, and he just handed me those when I went to the Moonlight booth to buy a couple models. He's like, you like the old resin, don't you? I'm like, yes. So I actually, because we just got our new 3D printer, I asked Christine what that old resin was so that I could get some. Because I don't mind if it's fragile, if it's a display model. I'm used to fragile. You know, I might just actually leave a little bit of a white spot on the front of the ear. It might be kind of cute. I'll do the dark tips, but it might be fun to just give him a spot of white on his ear fronts. Like that's cute, right? Like if I paint this like fur, it'll be fine. No, newer prints you don't get that anymore. Like it's just the newest printers are so fast at such good quality. Big Apple, like the one we just got, is one of the fastest. I can't wait to get it set. But I don't know. I've got my project this weekend. One of my big projects this weekend is the garage. I need to set up my weight bench, and that will make room that I can break out the new printer and get it set up. And then I have an excuse to buy the Fairy Dragon bust. We all know what this is really leading up to, right? The Fairy Dragon bust. We had a Saturn II, but it imploded because David forgot to screw in the tank. So resin got everywhere, including inside the machine, and we've kind of written it off. Like, we still have it, and maybe he'll, like, knuckle down and, like, you know, try to clean it and bring it back from the dead. Maybe. But we got, to replace it, we just got the Saturn IV Ultra. That's the Elegoo. They do seem to be having a bit of a problem with their firmware update. But we shall see. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of fade. I want it a little bit dark. Then I can do this little area lighter. And it helps too by getting this color up onto the ears and not just on the face. So we'll hopefully be able to move the eye around the figure. It kind of is, Bob. It really depends. Like, I felt like that before, but now since we had a printer, I was able to see like what my behavior was with the printer. And really, I'm pretty selective about what I print. Like, I own a fair number of STLs that I haven't printed yet, but I even have gotten pretty selective about those. So it's not like just a hobby where I'm always printing stuff now. Like, I actually feel like we're very purpose-driven printers. David definitely is. Like, he doesn't own any STLs except the ones he really wants. Like, he buys a lot of terrain bits, and that's originally what we thought we would do. But I love a lot of the new 3D prints. Like, there's so many good artists working now. Hey, guys, he looks really cute. Look at that color scheme. What do you think? Hey, hold on. Let's back up. Given his body is naked. But I think that brown works really well with the pumpkin. It's harmonizing well. I think it's going to look great. I like this color. Yeah, so let's get his, I think I'm going to make his limbs dark toward the body and then go up to the gold color, but then we'll make his skin, I think, is going to be black. Probably I'll go blue-black with it. So I'll go with blue liner probably. So let's get that in. Let's just do, I'm going to keep using the big brush because I'm really just blocking in colors, and this is a big version of the model, so I can get away with it. So we'll get the dark all around the back. I'll scale a little closer so you guys can see. Hey Crowley, bye! The leaves were a pain in the butt, but thank you, Bob. Oh, I got brown on my... We've only finished the front. Like, I did the pumpkin, I did the vines on the leaves on the front, but we base coated the back, but we haven't actually done any highlighting on it. So any highlights and shadows you see are just the Zenith Prime. This little guy. These little bits of fur on his back. We can highlight those a little bit later with our like ruddy leather combo. Just getting that blocked in. The as far as the stem goes, they're usually lighter. We looked up pictures of pumpkins on the vine. The stem is usually a little bit lighter and more consistent in color than the leaves. Gonna just get this shadowed in. So I'm gonna do kind of the black and brown all on the underside, just as kind of a shader. And then we'll go in and get the limbs. Oh, bye, Bob. Or are you saying goodbye to Crowley? Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Getting this little bit of red in there. Then I'll do the golden color. Oh, hey, Genuine Vision, how's it going? Welcome to the bat stream. He's actually a batling because he has 4 legs, or 4 limbs, and plus wings. So he's a batling rather than a bat. But he's adorable, and he's got a candy corn. And he would like to wish you a happy Halloween. And today he's getting fur. We've been painting the pumpkin and the leaves over the last few days. I'm just painting this one model right now until he's done. It's kind of my Halloween October project. He's so cute, and it's going to take us a while to paint him, so I figured let's just see how much of October I can take up with painting a batling. Because last year, I tried to start October projects, and they just kept going into December, January. And I just didn't like that whole effect because I couldn't do. Then it was hard to do Christmas ones, so I decided this year that I was going to focus on just like pick one like kind of big Halloween project and do that, and do it just in October. So yeah, it should take us, this is just base coating. I'm just blocking in colors. I spent a long time figuring out what color his face was going to be. We have a photo reference of a spectacled flying fox that we were using as a rough guide. I like, when I'm painting anything that's like animal or based on an animal, I like to look at actual photos to kind of get ideas for colors and everything. So yeah, I'll show you the picture that I'm kind of basing it on. There we go. He's upside down, but he's adorable. So our flying fox is pretty darn cute. So I'm just using some things to inform. Like I'm not trying to do an exact duplicate because of course the sculpt of the bat is different. But I borrowed the lighter spectacles around the face because that'll help make everything stand out really well. And the fur colors with the kind of the orangey color, which I'm working on right now, the base of it. And then we'll probably make his eyes actually orange because I want to pull attention up from the pumpkin and kind of repeat that color up here. So that's my plan anyway. We'll see how well we execute it. Right now I'm just figuring out what I want to make a fleshy color for inside his ears next, I think. But I want to block in, and I'm going to make his little hands and feet a dark, kind of a blue-black color, which will stand out against the candy corn once we get to the candy corn. But yeah, I think that we've got that pretty blocked in, so I want to go on the other side. Yeah, I'm trying to get all these colors blocked in so then we can work on the fur section by section. Wow, the raids today. Pantarius, thank you for the raid. Welcome to Batstream. Reaper's I'm gonna be streaming this little guy every day till he's done on the weekdays. So that's today, Friday, obviously. We will not be doing it tomorrow, but we'll be doing it Monday through Friday next week. We're just gonna keep going until he's all done. This is a bigger version of the model that you get for free by ordering $50 of Reaper product during the month of October. Reaper does Ghoulie bags, so it'll be this little guy, except probably a little bit, probably 2/3 of this size. And then 3 Halloween themed paints and candy. And you get that as a free extra when you order in the month of October and you spend $50, which is not hard to do these days. So that's how you get this guy. And I think he'll eventually be available in the store, but it might take a while. Because Reaper's still working on like Kickstarter fulfillment and everything, so other stuff is kind of slowed down right now. Yes, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. I am Anne. I've worked for Reaper for over 21 years at this point. It's a long time. I created our paint line back when I worked directly for them in Texas at our headquarters, and then now I stream for them every weekday morning, barring weirdness like holidays and vacations. And we do all sorts of different models, and normally we do a rotation so that every day is different, and we do like 6 models, and we go back, loop around to the front until we get models. We finish models at a fair clip these days. But just for the next couple weeks is my guess, we're going to be working on the bat. Just painting him. So that I don't end up still painting a Halloween mini in December like I did last year. Because it's just sad then. It's just sad. There. Get that golden color in there. I'm going to shade. And Reaper just spammed all my stuff. I also do, if you're getting into mini painting for the first time, if you go to my YouTube, which I think is the 3rd from the bottom there, yeah. I have a series on YouTube, just free, Fundamentals of Mini Painting, where I talk about all of the basic techniques, everything from getting a smooth base coat to mixing your own wash to learning how to do layering and wet blending and stuff. And it's a pretty long series. I talk a bit about materials and brushes and all sorts of stuff like that. I think it's 14 or 15 videos at this point, and I'm thinking about actually going back in and adding to it, talking about painting, like ins and outs of painting specific colors. Because people struggle with like reds, yellows, black, white, right? So, and there's even special stuff about painting things like blue and purple. So, yeah. So we may add to the fundamentals. But right now I'm doing a series on YouTube, again, free, about painting non-metallic metal. It's for beginners. So it's very basic. We do a different shape every month. This month I'm planning to do a couple different videos for it. I feel like I have a little extra time. That'll probably come back to bite me. But I'm planning on doing a few different NMM shapes this month. And when we're done with NMM, or when I want to take a break, I'm going to be doing some lighting, some source lighting stuff as well. So yeah, if you are a relative newbie, or you want to brush up on fundamentals, or you want to learn NMM, that you can just go on over to my YouTube. All free. I also have a Patreon. It's actually what pays the bills around here, so I really appreciate everybody who supports me there. But that's not necessary. I really want to do the YouTube for free because I just feel like some of this information needs to be out there. And then I go into a lot more detail on the Patreon. And I do companion PDFs for the YouTube videos. I do those, and those are available on Patreon for the $2 a month tier. There we go. All right. We've got our fur. Now we need a belly. And I was going to do the belly a little lighter, but I might not, because even though the bat has kind of a bib of sorts, this bat has a really deep shadow because his head is really chibi. And so I don't know that there's a lot of room to do a lighter area on the belly. We may just have to go dark with the belly. I'm just going to block it in the blackened brown, which is kind of a dark chocolate color. I think that's where we're going to go. Also, then the arms, which I'm making lighter, will show up against the belly, being darker. Here. Yeah, little guy. Yeah. Happy little bat. So I'm thinking the ears and the wing membranes, I'm going to go more of a flesh color. And I think the paws and the struts of the wings, I'm going to go more blue-black with, so I can repeat colors. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did. Yes, I will be streaming on my own channel at twitch.tv/paintingbig, all one word. Tomorrow we are going to be working on Lava Dragon. Lava Dragon. He's so cool. He's so huge. So yeah, Lava Dragon tomorrow on my Twitch stream on twitch.tv/paintingbig around 3 p.m.-ish in the afternoon Central USA time. So 1 p.m. Western Coastal time where I am. And 4 p.m. Eastern. And way too late European. But yes. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. And this will be streaming in the new channel. Now that we have an actual dedicated miniatures channel. So cool. Alright, I think I want to use this mixed color and get kind of an orange, like a brown orange color for the eyeballs. So let me just, I think I'm going to take some of my mix of the chestnut gold and the ruddy leather. I'm going to actually add real orange to it. I think I'm going to add explosion orange to it, just to make it a little feistier, and then use that as a shadow. Since I'm done with the fur a bit now, I can just corrupt that color by adding orange. And then we'll block in his eyeballs. Real quick. Just the base color. Oh yeah. So I'm making kind of a burnt orange color, and then I'll bring that color up from there. Where's the brush? I need a smaller brush now. Be a happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're having a good one. So this is more kind of akin to the colors that are in our pumpkin, which is kind of the point. I want to keep, I like to repeat colors around the model. So by making the orange, the eyes the same color as the pumpkin, I hope to just pull the eye around, and then the pumpkin won't be quite as distracting because you'll probably still look at the face first. I'll make the orange up here a little bit brighter. This is just my base coat. Now, this is a good point to talk about how you can affect. I talked about this once a long time ago on a Rocky model that we painted, but you can affect whether a model looks good or evil by the type of pupils you give the eye, or alien. Like you could give him like weird horizontal goat pupils, and then he looks like pretty weird and alien. You can do more of a slit. A vertical pupil tends to look more evil. And big round pupils tend to look more friendly. The bigger, the better. Yeah, I really blocked in the bat today. Now we're still gonna, spend a lot of time like refining this fur and making it look better. Well, that's good, Laura. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll have a Quindy. Quindy, will you be on to help me tomorrow for my first stream on the new channel, or are you out? Oh, they heavily target smaller channels. Yeah. Well, that's because they're trying to sell you traffic or something, something else illegal and against the terms of service. They think that if you're little, you might not be smart. There we go. There's that orange. So we'll bring that up. You'll be there. Awesome. Great. Then we'll definitely try the new channel. Besides, you like using your mod bat, right? So you don't mind. I'm gonna go a little longer. Let's grab this walnut brown. Although, I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it there. He'll just have like mindless orange eyes right now, and we'll put the pupils in next time because it is pretty late. And I need to get Kiki out on her walk before it gets too hot because it's going to be really hot here today. Yeah. I'm going to be on my own channel. That's going to be twitch.tv/paintingbig instead of Reaper Miniatures. Painting Big, all one word. And it'll be at around 3 p.m. USA Central Time. That's my time that I typically do my Saturday stream. And we'll work on Lava Dragon. So more orange. It's the month for it, right? It's the month for orange. So yeah, so we'll work on this guy. I started blocking in his face and getting that kind of tuned in last time. So we'll probably continue and get the rest of that head kind of blocked in. And I'll probably fill up some of this and get things sorted. I'm liking how he's turning out a lot. This is my second dragon bust this year. I really love dragon busts lately. So yeah, we'll work on that. Makes sense, Laura. I'm lucky. I'm like really a spoiled Twitch brat because I have Quindy, and then before I had Nebula, and they both have been great mods, and so I've never had to learn how to do that stuff. Oh no, I'm a spoiled Twitch brat. I am totally. Oh nice, yeah, report them too. That's good. Super. So all right, that's where we've gotten to today. So we got really far. It looks like we got really far because whenever you block in colors, you really get pretty good. So next time on Monday, let's work on filling in the fleshy tone on the wings and the ears, and the blue-black on the paws and the wings, and we'll put in the eyes and the nose, and that'll all get us further toward done. And so there he is let's zoom out a little bit and get my palette out of frame. So yeah, he's coming together, guys. Now, of course, we've done nothing back here as far as highlighting and shading, so we still have a lot of work to do. I'm pretty confident that this is going to take us another couple weeks, which is perfect. That should get us almost to Halloween, or at least a good space into the month. Oh my God, Bob. I don't know. I used to, let's see. Well, I painted, my Tyranid army alone was 120 gaunts. Keep that in mind. That was way back in the dawn of time. So I'm guessing that, by the time I was done with Tyranids, and I also had at least 50 or 60 Wood Elves, GW alone in my early days would have been like 200, 250 plus. And then painting for commission, add in another 50. And then all my current, years of Reaper, where I finish about 10 to 12 models a year. And then my own stuff. Yeah, a lot. Hundreds, many hundreds. I don't know if I've hit 1,000 because I'm a slow painter, Bob. And I don't mind being a slow painter. And now that I'm painting bigger stuff by choice, like I really like painting bigger models, it takes longer. So I'm painting a lot less. So actually my volume is not nearly as high as many other professional painters who have to produce to a deadline, who depend on commissions, and do all that stuff, right? So I think my volume is less, but I tend to go slow and learn more on each model. I try to get better on each model rather than just kind of pumping out models. You can learn a lot from pumping out models. You can get better brush control. You can get a better, you'll get better at paint consistency and brush loading and precise brush stroke and things like that. And then at some point you've got to slow down to really lock in a bit more stuff, I think. Or you don't. If you want to be a good fast painter for your whole life, you certainly can get pretty far to do that. No problem, Bob. Thanks. Oh, we don't know if Reaper Land is on today. Okay. Well, thanks much. Yes. Thanks much, everybody. And I hope you're enjoying Batling. I really am. And we will be back. We'll be back on Monday. For those of you I'm going to see tomorrow, I'll see you then. And for those who I'll see you on Monday, adios. Have a great weekend. All right? Thanks, Quindy, for herding the felines, as always. And we'll see you. Yep. Thanks, Roger. Bye-bye.